guys were playing, they wasn't striking. They weren't doing well against the run. And Pittsburgh, you know what they do? They win ugly. They don't mind winning ugly. That's just what they do. And McCarthy's 0-4 against Pittsburgh. Now, I know with athletes, there's a psychological something. I wonder if that's the same case with coaches, you know. But I just think Justin Fields might get a few head nods today if he continues to flourish the way that he's playing. And I think Russell Wilson is going to be like, well, I ain't going to never get in now. the way this guy's playing.
Right.
And I just think that the Pittsburgh defense, as always, that's their trademark. They're not an offensive team like they used to be back in the 70s with Bradshaw and Lynn Swan and Stallworth and those guys, Franco Harris, Rocky Bleier. That's not who they are. Because they had a balance of offense and defense back then. I think today they're more slanted towards the defensive side, and it gets results. And you know that everybody's going to be tuning in to watch this one because they all remember the Steelers and Cowboys from back in the day. And it's just them by name now. You know, it's different because how programs, when you think about them, when you think about that era, even Mike McCarthy said that earlier this week. He says, yeah, back in the day, because he's from Pittsburgh, you know, and he's like,
I read that. I did not know he was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's from there. Also, you know, he was talking. He didn't call Tony Dorsett, called him Dorset. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember when he was Dorset in Pittsburgh, then it became Dorsett in Dallas.
So is it Dorset or is it Dorset?
It was Dorset when he was at Pittsburgh, and all that time was the Heisman Trophy winner, Tony Dorsett, and then when he got to Cowboy land, he said, "Oh, y'all been saying it wrong. It's Dorsett." So Greg Pruitt, who played with OU, was kind of the same class as Dorsett. He made a joke. He said, "Well, yeah, my name is Greg Pruitt." You know.
That's hilarious. Oh, wow. Okay.
So I got you know, we're gonna do our picks, but I just don't think it's gonna be a good day for the Cowboys because if you can't win with the guys you're missing. Right. You're not going to win with the guys that are trying to get a handle on what's going on.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And I think, do you think, because McCarthy's in the last year of his deal, so I don't think there's no question that he's going to finish the season.
Oh, no, he'll finish the season because, you know what, if I'm Jerry's very calculating. If I keep McCarthy, we might get a higher draft pick than ordinarily. I think Jerry's thinking about the future. I really do. It's funny to say that so early in the season,
right?
You know, but Jerry didn't really have that. I don't know, man. He didn't have that fighting attitude like he used to always have. You think about it. I mean, he has an answer for why we didn't get this running back. You know, there was a time Jerry would have made some violations to get that running back in camp.
Right.
You know,
right.
There's just some things he's just not. He didn't do it. He didn't make any moves during the offseason other than bringing Zeke back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's not the Jerry Jones we've grown accustomed to.
Right.
You know, he even admitted, yeah, I'm probably to blame for why things aren't going the way they're going. You know, because in the past,
he did.
He admitted that. I said, wow, this is a changed man. So. And it's hard to believe, or maybe it's not hard to believe, but you know, the Cowboys only had 2 general managers in their 60 years of existence. Him and Chick Schramm.
Chick Schramm. Wow, that's a good. I never even thought about that.
Just 2.
You're right.
Just two. Oh,
yeah.
and you know, just think about that. Just think about that from the 1960 to the next century later, pretty much.
Right.
Just 2 general managers, and even Tex was faltering late in his career at that position. You know, that's why they got rid of him and Jerry took over. But we'll see, man. I just think I just don't think Jerry's the same kind of rebel that he was, which his team was. They were rebels and villains and they played hard. All that stuff that Jerry was, the team was. I don't think we see that anymore.
And then too, you know, he's got a born day coming up. I think his born day is the 13th. So he's getting ready to be Jerry's getting ready to be what, 82, 81, 82, somewhere around like there. That. Yeah. So he's definitely up in age, man. And you know, like you say, I don't think he is the rebel that he once was. Now he's still gonna say some stuff to make you scratch your head.
Right.
You know, he's still gonna do that, and he's still gonna make some decisions that make you scratch your head too.
Did you hear about the conversation he and Jamie Foxx had?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the live, man. That was
That's what I'm saying. Stuff like that. You know, for those of you who don't know, look it up. We can't really talk about it.
Yeah, they probably pulled. You probably can't find an actual clip anymore, but just pull Jamie Foxx, Jerry Jones, and it'll probably come up. But yeah, I actually saw the clip, and it was hilarious to me. You know, just only Jerry. But it also got me. It also got me to thinking of from it a whole different perspective how, you know, the NFL and the combine and kind of comparing it to how the slavery. That's kind of how they looked at us.
That's how it sounded.
That's how it sounded.
That's the first thing I thought of. That's the first thing I thought of.
And let's face it,
that's and now when you look at it, that's what the combine is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's exactly what the combine is. And so I think, it's funny when you get focused on stuff later and you kind of look at it a different way and you see how things are, wow, there's a hidden meaning in this whole process. And when you think about what you just talked about, the auction block for slavery he's a big guy. He's got big thighs. He'll last you 45 years. And that's what they do with the NFL ball players, man. More so than any other sport. More so than any other sport.
More so than any other sport. You're right.
And I don't know. It's kind of demeaning. But if you're an athlete trying to get that dream, especially these young guys today, they don't know the history of all that kind of stuff. That's and then for Jerry to kind of punctuate it with the conversation he had with Jamie Foxx. It's just kind of like, this is what it is. This is exactly what it is. And why would he be talking about? Why is he looking? Why is he looking at these guys?
Right.
You want to talk about the fourth?
And then how do you know it is? How did you know it was 9 inches?
Right. Did
you have a ruler in there? Did you go measure?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else y'all testing for at the combine that we don't know about?
Right. I'm like, what the hell?
So it's demeaning and it
really is.
It's all of that stuff, and hey, I don't try to make this political, but it kind of shows you the structure of how athletes are thought of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're making a whole bunch of money, but their humanity.
Right.
And what they're about, what they bring to the table is not even thought about. It's all about it. It's all about the physicality and what they can do and all of that. And so I'm like this. Any player out there trying to get a new deal, go get it.
I've always been like that. Get your bag. Get your bag. I'm with you. Get it and don't and apologize later. If you feel like you need to, and you shouldn't have to apologize. So here's a couple of NFL news and notes, Mike. We're gonna finally see OBJ. Dolphins activate. He ain't gonna have no quarterback to throw on the ball, but OBJ is off the PUP list. He will play today versus the Patriots. I think that we've seen the best of Odell Beckham Jr. I just think he came in with like dynamite. And he's kind of fizzled out due to all those injuries. What's your thoughts on OBJ?
I think we've seen the best of him 3 years ago or plus at least.
Yeah.
But also see this because they haven't won a game yet. Have they won a game yet?
I think the Dolphins have won one game. Yeah, they have because there's only one team that's not won a game, and that's the Jaguars.
And they haven't, but they haven't won one since Tua.
Right? No, they hadn't won one since.
So to me, this is an act of desperation. Wouldn't be that way if Tua, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he would eventually be off that PUP list if Tua was still playing. But I think this is the first sign of, hey, Miami, we are in trouble. And then, I mean, I think I saw an article, a headline anyway. You don't believe these articles. Now the way they get you is proposed trade.
Mm-hmm.
Blockbuster proposal trade involving, the one that's doing it is the writer. It ain't the manager, the GM, or the coach. It's the writer doing this.
Right.
But I think I saw something about Tyreek Hill maybe being traded.
And I read that Tyreek Hill, he came out and refuted that report and said, it was something about the Chiefs were maybe looking to try to bring him back, and he refuted that. He said that wasn't the case. But what happens is, Mike, these athletes with their social media accounts, they quick to post like these little subliminal memes and stuff to get people to talking. And I think that's what we see a lot of. They want us to kind of read through the little subliminals. Speaking of that, we're gonna talk about Davante Adams.
That's what I was thinking of when you said that.
He posted the Edgar Allan Poe thing.
Yes,
the subliminal, the Ravens. If you know Edgar Allan Poe, the poem, the Ravens, and now people are trying to connect the Ravens and the Raiders on this trade. Supposedly it's gonna go down. And speaking of that, they got the Raiders. They have 7 players out versus the Broncos today, including Davante Adams with a hamstring issue. And let's talk about this Adams deal. He basically came out and said he wants to be out of there, man. What's your thoughts on this?
I thought Antonio Pierce was going to be a guy to keep these guys together and all of this, and evidently that's not going to be the case. And it all looked good for Antonio Pierce as the interim, but once you get the interim tag removed, you're under a different amount of pressure, not just from the public, but from your players in house. And if you're Davante Adams, you got a couple choices you want. You have 2 old quarterbacks you played with that you could be hooking back up with, And if the Minnesota game continues to be like it is, when the Jets wind up losing, they're going to really up the ante and go and although they're not saying anything and they can't because it'd be tampering. But don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers, who runs the team on the offensive side anyway, tells his boy Paul Hackett, we got to go get
Nathaniel Hackett, the son.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Paul. You in the right.
Paul, what I call him Paul.
Paul Hackett. That's his dad, isn't it? Yeah, Paul Hackett is his dad. Yeah.
At least I didn't say Buddy Hackett. All right.
People probably don't know who Buddy. I know who Buddy Hackett.
You're right. Yeah. You always want to be on the Johnny Carson show all the time.
Right.
Don't like that.
Right.
You know, the word he said, but he became a millionaire.
So it's again, you brought up a good point because I thought Pierce, the way it seems that this whole thing
Paul
started.
Pierce, he just did the same thing I did.
I meant Antonio Pierce.
We both did the
same. But Antonio Pierce, this thing started from what I was reading up on and reported on. He liked a post by Sports Illustrated that had a picture of Davante Adams and saying, "Hey, how long will he be a Raider? This could possibly be his last game coming up as a Raider," and Antonio Pierce liked it. And that I think this is how now I'm like, oh, why would your head coach like a post of you maybe possibly being traded? If
I was Pierce, I would put a question mark. That'd been my response.
But he liked it, and it screenshotted, and people saw it. So, and I'm sure the word got back to Davante Adams, and here we are now. But I don't blame him. Hell, they didn't have great value quarterbacks out there since Derek Carr was gone. I mean, they done went through quite a few. Jimmy Garoppolo
and you see the power of social media. Yeah, you see this. You see the power of it. Oh man,
yeah, it's crazy. So. I read a report this morning that said that the Raiders they're listening, but they won't take anything less than a 2nd round pick and some compensation and maybe a player or 2 if they're gonna move him. But they not in a hurry to do it. The Raiders don't have to move him.
And if you're Antonio Pierce, this is your first year as a full head coach, so you're not feeling any pressure.
Right? Yeah. True.
I know Arizona, they've been known to get rid of a coach after 1 year, but the Raiders don't. I'm gonna say this now: the Raiders don't operate that way, and the makeup of the Raiders front office being what it is, where you get brothers and sisters who are running things up there, and Mark Davis, the owner, he's like Jerry. Don't tell me I'm wrong.
Right.
They're stubborn to a fault. So Pierce is not feeling any pressure right now with what's going on with Davante Adams, other than just trying to, which in one respect, if Davante doesn't want to be there, okay, in order for you to leave, we got to bring in a haul. We got to get some picks and a player, because that's how valuable you are to us by not playing with us.
Yeah, and then I haven't heard any word of him being like a team buster, as far as causing issues. I've never heard anything like that. Now could this start something like that? I don't know. I hope not. But eventually, I'm sure that they'll work something out. And speaking of disgruntled wide receivers, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I'm talking about the Packers wide receiver, Romeo Doubs. He didn't make the trip to LA today because he was suspended by the Packers for conduct detrimental to the team. He missed the last 2 practices. At first, Matt LaFleur tried to cover it up and say it was for personal reasons. Personal reasons, and it wasn't. He just didn't want to come to practice because he's upset about him not getting enough targets.
Just put him on a milk carton. Where are you? I mean, this is remember back in the day,
in LA today.
Remember that? Remember they had the kids who were missing on a milk carton. You'd be like, "Oh, this kid's missed." Like, why you put it on a milk carton? Because kids see the milk carton. It's like, what are you missing? What did So anyway, but no, hey man, it's just a different world today, and some coaches they feel the need. I got to put my foot down, and I hear what you're saying. But these players today, man, it's they want to do their own agenda now.
They do.
They really do. There's not
a
Jimmy Johnson type. The brand is
more important than the
brand.
Hey, what's up, little sis? Thanks for popping in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. It's the brand.
Yeah. So he's gonna miss. By the way, that fine. A lot of times people don't understand when these players get suspended or whatever, they lose a game check. Well, he's losing $54,722 or 1/18 of his base salary. I'm sorry, man. I ain't gonna just give my money away like that. I don't understand that.
And he had plans for that money. He get that money this week.
He get that money this week. Yeah. So that's and the Packers are already thin at the wide receiver position. Christian Watson, he's not playing. He has an ankle injury. So anyway, Romeo Doubs was a big part of the offense, but he won't be in LA on today when they take on the Rams, and that is the 3:25 game. All right, Mike, let's get down to our picks. Our pick 6. This is what I call Kendrick's pick 6, and where I pick 6 games, and I pick who I think is going to win, and I kind of give a score. So let's get into this thing, Mike. All right, here are the 6 games that I picked for Week 5. We got the Ravens at the Bengals, the Browns at the Commanders, the Bills at the Texans, the Cardinals at the Niners, the Packers at the Rams, and the Cowboys at the Steelers. Mike, let's start with the Ravens at the Bengals. Who you got? What's the score?
I'm going to go I'm going to go 27-10 Baltimore.
Okay, Mike going with the Ravens. I'm also going to go with the Ravens too, Mike. I'm going 24-20 with the Ravens. They playing some really good football too right now. They might be the best team in the league, in my opinion. All right, Browns at another surprise team that I meant for us to talk about a little bit, but that's okay. Browns at the Commanders. That's a noon kickoff. Who you got, Mike?
I'm going with Commanders because I had said prior to the season that I liked what they were doing off season, grabbing players. I think they'll split with the Cowboys. We'll see. The way the Cowboys are playing, they might sweep the Cowboys. But I like the Commanders, and I'm going to go 23-13.
I'm with you, Mike. I'm going with the Commanders as well. I'm going with them 30-14. I just think the Cleveland Browns, they are offensively offensive. They can't do anything.
They're a 4-letter word.
Right. Yeah. And again, when you and I have talked about Deshaun Watson at length, and we don't need to go back. I think they got to get from under him. I just think they need a fresh start.
Well, and it's a seemingly a sinking ship, but you got too much of the season to regard it that way. And that's, I mean, the thing about football, and we'll move on. The thing about football is it's tough and it's hard, but when you're losing, it's really tough.
It's really tough, right? And especially when your salary has been plastered all over the media, and people know how much money you make. And that ain't what? that don't make it any easier. And I don't think that's another topic for another day that, Mike, we should talk about. Should player salaries be even? Should we know what players make? That's a subject matter that I want us to dig into on a later show. We'll talk about that later. Bills at the Texans. That's a noon kickoff. Mike, we kind of talked about that earlier. I know you leaning with. Who you got?
I'm going to go Texans 29-14. Texans.
Mike going 29-14 Texans. I'm with you on the Texans. I'm going Texans 26-14. So we kind of seeing the same thing. We're seeing, this probably will be almost a two touchdown win for this Texans team. Now, Cardinals at the Niners, 3:05 p.m. kickoff. Mike, who you got? This is a big NFC West showdown, division showdown.
Cardinals, man, you never know what they're gonna do from one week to the next. So
right,
I'm gonna go with them.
Wow.
Pulling off what I think would be the upset.
Oh, it definitely would be.
It definitely would be. So I'm gonna go. Let's see, because when Kyler Murray be running his little pitter patter feet, they be moving like that.
Right.
Like a cartoon character. Someone said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 27-24.
27-24 Cardinals. I'm going with the Niners. I just think the Cardinals, they're going to find a way to screw this up. And I think Brock Purdy is showing that he's a solid quarterback. Is he the guy that he can put the team on his shoulder? I don't think he's that type of quarterback, but he has enough weapons around him that he does just enough to win. But I think the Niners are going to win this 31-16. And another 3:25 p.m. kickoff. My Packers at the Rams. Both of these teams, the Rams are really hurting at the wide receiver position. I know Kupp, I think I read he won't be back for a couple of weeks. Defensively, they've had some struggles. Mike, who you got? Packers at the Rams.
I'm going with your boys from Green Bay, man. I'm going to go Rams are hurting. They are falling short. I'm going to go 33-14.
Man, we all on the same wavelength. I'm going Packers as well, but I'm going 30-13.
Okay.
Green Bay. Even though we're hurting at the wide receiver position, we should be okay against the Rams. Now, the big game tonight, Sunday night game, Cowboys at Steelers, 7:20 p.m. Mike, who you got? I think we both gonna pick the same team, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Oh man, 23. Cowboys 10.
Okay, man, I guess we thinking alike. I'm going with the Steelers too, 28-13.
Okay.
I just think the Cowboys defense is going to be vulnerable, and also I think Trevon Diggs, their all-pro cornerback, he has an ankle issue, so he's not going to be 100% as well, man. So the Cowboys, but hey, it's the NFL. Everybody dealing with injuries. The 49ers have been dealing with them. There's a lot of teams been dealing with them, so it is what it is. My guy over here on TikTok, Michael Coffey, hopefully I said your name right. He says Nathaniel Hackett needs to have tomatoes thrown at him after this game. That's hilarious, Mike. Michael, speaking of which, it's a 17-10 game right now. So the Jets, they ain't out of it yet, Michael. So we'll see what happens.
Save those tomatoes.
Those are our picks. Yeah, save those tomatoes. Those are our pick six for this week. Now, Mike, we're getting down to the end of the show. Let's talk about the freestyle moment where we basically can freestyle and talk about whatever you like. Mike, what is on your mind? What you want to freestyle about?
We can't pick our parents,
Right.
Can't pick our parents.
Right.
Did you see the story about Rashee Rice's mother?
I did. I saw a glance of it. Did that really happen?
I saw a video and I don't know if it's a mom, it's like, for those who aren't hip to what we're talking about, a porch thief. The neighbor of Rashee Rice's mom is accusing her of taking a package off her front porch. I saw the video, and I don't know what the mother looks like.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, she should have and she was wearing Rashee Rice's jersey number. She was wearing the jersey number.
Was she?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, shoot, she should have wore Patrick Mahomes' jersey, and so that way they can't say it was his mom. But if it's true, I saw the video, and I don't know what the mother looks like.
Yeah.
But if it's true, the embarrassment has got to be worse than his situation in Dallas last year. That's something he did, the racing, the drag racing.
Right, the racing
something
thing,
he did.
Right.
And parents are supposed to be better than your kids because you're raising the kids. And I just think that, if that's true, that's pretty sad because I think folks will say this is how they are. And, the stereotypical thing, and we have a lot of young parents out there. It's and my parents were young, but it's a whole bunch of different vices today. Like I think about the young man in Memphis who plays for the basketball team.
The Grizzlies, Ja Morant,
right, Josh Morant, where his father's involved in stuff,
right.
Instead of being the father.
Right,
and here's
being the best friend and being a buddy. What's up, DJ Dwayne Juice? What's up, brother? Appreciate you.
Here's what people need to understand: if you're a family member of any professional athlete or anybody high profile, what you do hurts them,
right?
And obviously what that person does, who's got the jersey, who's playing the sport, what he does hurts the family, but it can be the other way around too.
Yeah, right.
It could just as easily be the other way around. And so hopefully, that's not the case. But the woman claims it's his mother, and that's the neighbor, and that's in its own video. Those doorbell videos.
The ring. The ring camera called. Hey, Jaquita, how you doing, sister? Thanks for popping in as well. Appreciate the gift too. Mm-hmm.
But so if TMZ got it,
90%
of it's gonna be true.
They gonna get it. Yeah, if TMZ, if they get it, you pretty much know it's some truth to it. I hate that, man, because Rashee Rice, if you don't know, wide receiver for the Chiefs, they hadn't ruled him out for the year, but he has a knee.
I think he's gonna miss at least 4 games.
He's gonna miss at least 4 games. Then he's still dealing with that racing situation that happened in Dallas earlier this year, that he still got an answer to. The NFL hasn't made any decision on as far as any suspension on that. I guess they're going to wait to see what happens in the legal system far as that. So I hate to hear that, man. Because like you said, we can't pick our parents, man. And to me, a lot of times we don't understand how our actions it affects other people, especially your family members. So that's the selfish part of doing stuff like that. You're not thinking about how this is going to affect other people. And speaking of, we're gonna kind of stay on that, and Mike, I really want to talk to you about this because we lost an icon to our people, James Evans Sr. from Good Times, John Amos. We lost him, and what's unfortunate about his loss is what's going on that we don't know about behind the scenes. We did not even know that. We found out that John Amos passed away at the end of August.
Right. And we just finding out now.
We just finding out now, and just what's going on with his two children. It breaks my heart because some of the stories that's being released, she talked to TMZ. She didn't even know. His daughter, John Amos' daughter, just found out through social media.
Really?
Her brother, yes.
Oh, shoot.
Her and her brother are at odds about a lot of stuff, man. And just to think about John Amos, by the way, if you didn't know, he was a former NFL football player, played for the Kansas City Chiefs briefly and the Denver Broncos. Then he would go to the Continental Football League, but then he would, his career would be over and he would get into acting. And to know that, man, this icon, dad, he's the dad to a lot of us.
He's television's first black dad.
Right. That's a good point.
And ain't been but maybe 5 of those, but he was the first one.
He was the first one. I didn't even think about that. That is so true.
Yeah. He's dude. Uptown Saturday Night.
Yes.
All the movies and Kunta Kinte and Roots and he has a strong body of work, and he stayed working. And then you tack onto that, he and James Earl Jones died 19 days apart from each other.
I know, right?
And so, he's That one's a big one right there. Ain't no doubt about that. I did not know that his daughter just found out like we just found out.
Yeah, she found out like we found out. So I think it's some more stuff that's gonna come out in his death that I think that's gonna be sad. But it goes back to what you were talking about, Mike. We can't pick, and sometimes parents say I can't pick my children either.
That's right.
So
right.
It's just
but you can put them up for adoption.
But
you can't do it to parents, but you can put your kids up for adoption. Kate, this runny nosed little boy. I'm tired of it.
That is true. You can't send him to the juvie. You can send him to the juvie. Get him out of there. But anyway, guys, that's our show, man. I want to thank everybody for watching. My man, Mike, I want to thank you for popping in, man.
All right, man.
And then we go and watch some football. Right now, the Vikings are up 20-10 on the Jets with 12:55 left in the fourth quarter. All right, Mike. Well, I holler, man. We got to get together one Saturday, man.
Yeah, man. We'll do that.
Some football. Okay, brother.
Right.
I know you busy, but anyway.
I ain't busy. When you sign off, hang around. I got something to tell you.
Okay. All right. We'll do. All right, guys. That's a wrap for me today. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you keep it locked here every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. You can catch me here at TFG Sports Media, as well as on Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube, as well as right here on TikTok at Kendrick Henderson 51, as well as on Facebook. That is Kendrick Henderson, Roland Henderson. You can follow me there. You can also follow me at Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook, as well as TFG Sports Media. You can follow me on Facebook as well. So again, you guys enjoy your Sunday football. Again, you catch me here every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. giving you your NFL preview. So I am Kendrick, the sports guy. We will see you on the other side. And on the next report, I am out. Peace.